Eliza and Liam Green were two young heroes. They weren't always heroes, but what they did for the country of Surrington was so profound they were remembered forever. The two twins were born in the country of Surrington to proud parents who loved them dearly. They taught them to love the world, its people, and its creatures. They also taught them to love themselves and take care of one another. Eliza and Liam loved to read books, and in doing so, they lived 1,000 lives through the characters they read about. This also helped them develop empathy for other people and situations. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Eliza and Liam knew they were very lucky to have the life they did, surrounded by loving, caring people, and understood not everyone was able to experience this. By the time the twins reached high school, they'd made friends with everyone in the community. They were the most active students in their clubs and helped everyone they could. Eliza and Liam were ready for a change by the time they went to college and decided to move inward, closer to the city. They wanted to become doctors because they felt that would help them save as many people as they could. But something strange was happening in the city of Surrington, something that caused both twins to feel as though they were in the nadir of life. Nadir is the lowest point of something. One day, when Liam was walking by himself to pick up groceries for their dorm room, he overheard a man yelling, "I'm just a normal man like many of you here in a proud Surrington. I tell nothing but the truth, and I tell it like it is," the man shouted to the slowly growing crowd. "I see the way our country is going with so many northerners coming here and stealing our jobs, calling themselves Surringtons when us real Surringtons get pushed to the back. Shameful. What has become of our great nation?" Liam noticed the crowd nodding along to this man and couldn't help but gape. He'd almost thought the whole thing was a satirical performance before the crowd started shouting similar words. A satire is the use of humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other typical political issues. The man surely sounded sarcastic, considering everything he said was untrue. "They bring their crime, their murderers, the absolute worst of their kind into our good country, and we just let them?" the man continued, raising a fist. "They don't even pay their taxes, I'm sure, feeding off the kindness of our hearts when they're nothing but greedy, dirty robbers, kicking us out of our house and home." Liam went right home and told Eliza everything, getting more and more angry the longer he went on. The next day, when Liam and Eliza were on their way to class, they saw a young boy kick another and trip him into the mud. "Go back to where you came from, filthy northerner," the boy laughed, spitting before running off. It was the same rhetoric the man yesterday was spewing outside the grocery store. Eliza went to chase after him, but Liam pulled her to the child on the ground and helped him up. "Are you all right?" Liam asked. "Fine, sir, but you best not talk to me so openly," the kid said. "They'll come for you too." Liam and Eliza felt a deep rancor for the shouting man from yesterday. Rancor is deep, bitter resentment. His poisonous talk had spread through the people of this city, and the twins could see it as they walked onward. Neighbors distrusted neighbors. Police eyed anyone looking vaguely suspicious. Surrington natives glared, spit at, or kicked out anyone who vaguely looked or talked like a northerner. "They are our countrymen," Eliza shouted one time, standing over a girl who had just been shoved back and forth between people until she was sick. "We are all Surringtons." But the people would not listen. Their empathy had been depleted by fear-mongering, or the action of deliberately arousing public fear or alarm about a particular issue. The man had created an us versus them mentality that brought out the worst in the people of Surrington. At one point, Eliza screamed herself hoarse to a man who still believed the fallacious information, or incorrect and misleading. But he scoffed and said it wasn't as bad as she was making it out to be. Eliza and Liam decided it was time for their country to come together again and feel what it meant to have compassion. They organized rallies, they protested and made speeches, they created clubs at their college to raise awareness of the growing issue, and they became the heroes of every storybook they'd ever read. Liam used his camera skills and Eliza her editing abilities to create an emotional video depicting the truth of the brutality going on within their once kind nation. Their efforts were not for nothing. People took notice. The good people of Surrington shared the rhetoric, talked of acceptance and loving your neighbor. The video showed the truth of how the poisonous talk of that first man had turned the people of Surrington into monsters, and they finally saw it. Once their country recognized there was a problem, they were able to work on a way to fix it. Liam and Eliza were invited to several meetings and shows to discuss their student activism, and went down in history as the heroes who saved the nation of Surrington from a cycle of hatred and intolerance. All it took was a little empathy, a little compassion, and a little understanding.